There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable YouTubers to see if they could become something more. I was not one of these YouTubers. If we use this MCU analogy, I'm sort of like Fandral. Not exactly Avengers tier. But anyway, I still love the MCU, and I too want to take a shot at this concept. One marvelous scene, where various YouTubers pick out a single scene from the gigantic 22 film franchise that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe and break down just what makes it so great. I will be looking at everyone's favorite Ant-Man scene. You know the one. The allusion to the classic comic cover where Ant-Man rides on top of Hawkeye's arrow. In the scene, Hawkeye launches Scott forward, and the arrow breaks apart into a bunch of pieces mid-air, sending the tiny Avenger right inside of Thanos' butt cheeks, where he... Oh, wait! I'm guessing a whole bunch of you haven't seen Endgame yet. Okay, well, I know. Instead, I will discuss this marvelous scene from Age of Ultron.
Cap, these people are going nowhere. If Stark finds a way to blow this rock...
Not till everyone's safe.
Everyone up here versus everyone down there, there's no math there.
I'm not leaving this rock with one civilian on it.
I didn't say we should leave. There's worse ways to go. Where else am I gonna get a view like this?
Glad you like the view, Romanoff. It's about to get better.
Seems pretty simple, right? I bet a whole bunch of you don't even remember this scene, this conversation between Steve and Natasha before Nick Fury arrives. It almost seems shoehorned in, like a way to bring the tensions down for just a moment before bringing the excitement right back up as Fury makes his entrance. I don't think that's what the scene was for, though, and I can prove it. First, we have to ask the question, why have Captain America and Black Widow be the first two to see Nick Fury in the helicarrier? Why not Tony or Thor or Hawkeye or someone else? Well, because the sight of the helicarrier has real symbolic implications for these two in particular. Let me explain. Captain America is a man out of time, a man who needs a war. He gave up the simple life when he went down in the ice in the 1940s. Even before he was a super soldier, he's always been ready to die for a good cause, and this is no exception. But here in the future, he feels that war is all that he's got. It's what he knows best in this world without the familiar and without the love of his life. We see this reinforced in his vision with Peggy, and then again in his conversation with Tony.
Well, I guess you'd know. Whether you tell us is a bit of a question.
Banner and I were doing research.
That would affect the team.
That would end the team. Isn't that the mission? Isn't that the why we fight? So we can end the fight, so we get to go home?
Everyone else fights so that they can go home, but not Steve. The fight is his home. Peggy is what he wants more than anything, but he can't have that, so he accepts his fate as an eternal soldier. Dying here is not that bad. Natasha, on the other hand, feels like a monster. We know she had red in her ledger. She committed terrible crimes during her time working for Russia. She feels almost inhuman because of her inability to conceive, a representation of how she was little more than a tool for a global superpower. And she feels disgusted by the fact that she had really been working for Hydra for her entire time under S.H.I.E.L.D. She wants to wipe that red out of her ledger already, but she keeps coming back to it. And her one saving grace from this life of duty, Bruce Banner, she had to give him up because of that duty to the world. She gave up Banner so that the Hulk could help save the day here in Sokovia. She's done, just like Cap. Ready to go out in a blaze of glory. She accepts her fate here. And then Nick Fury shows up, and he reminds them both of something. No, Cap can't have his family life with Peggy back in the 1940s. But that doesn't mean he's just a soldier lost to time. He's a member of a new family here in the present, a family of people just like him. The Avengers are a group of remarkable people with a sense of duty to protect the world. In them, he finds camaraderie, friendship, a home, a purpose. He isn't meant to die here. He's meant to return to his new family and keep fighting to make the world better. The helicarrier is a reminder of where it all started for Steve, where he met his new teammates. The helicarrier symbolizes Steve finding a home, his salvation from the past. While in a much more literal sense, it will be his salvation, as well as the salvation of all the Sokovians, off this giant floating rock. Nat sees the helicarrier and hears Fury's voice, and this reminds her that she has made the world a better place. She helped save New York from the Chitauri and stopped Hydra from rising again, two events very closely tied to helicarriers. The helicarrier was where she first saw Banner transform into the Hulk, her fellow Avenger, the man she fell in love with. To her, that floating ship symbolizes that even though you may feel like a monster, you can be a force of positive change in the world. She may have been ready to die here, but now she realizes that it wouldn't do any good. She's not a monster, she's an Avenger, and the world needs her to keep being an Avenger. These two are real heroes. They want to put the lives of those innocent civilians above their own. Of course, this was true throughout their whole journey in this film. Cap and Nat genuinely want to make everyone safe, and don't intend on leaving until that happens. But Nick Fury in his helicarrier was what made them realize that they too deserve to get off this rock when the dust settles. They remembered what brought them here, how valuable they are to the world, and just how important they will be in the future. That's what makes this scene so marvelous. And that's why I picked this scene. If you like my analysis, go ahead and check out my video here on the political evolution of Cap and Iron Man leading up to Civil War. I think you'd like that one too. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and a huge thank you to Nando V Movies for setting up this whole retrospective. It's a fantastic way to appreciate the MCU after all these years of remarkable content, as well as a great way for smaller YouTubers to get a little exposure. You rock, dude. And that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Go watch Endgame, but don't spoil it for anyone. And most importantly, stay frosty.